All right. So what are you working on right now that you're like really excited about? Non-AI related. I'll push you outside of AI world. Like what is it you're working on? Whether it's the firm or modern law or whatever.
Yeah, so, well, we started buying buildings and remodeling them and opening locations, and that's happened.
Is that related to the law firm at all?
Well, they're modern law buildings. So,
Okay. How does this fit into your strategy? This is very interesting.
well, locations matter. Even though we are mostly remote, locations matter. I'm gonna pay rent anyway. The tax code is written in a way that buying is almost free.
Sure.
So, if you put 10 or 20% down, you get enough deduction from bonus depreciation to wipe out that payment. You're either going to pay the money down on a building or to the IRS.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that every year for the last 3 years, and it seems to be working.
All right. So give me advice on this. I'm very interested
Yeah.
and I would love to be able to, I'm sure my landlord doesn't listen to this, but I would love to buy the building that we are in for the Columbia office. I don't know if it'll ever come available. It's owned by a couple doctors and a couple lawyers, but I'd love to buy it. And if not, I mean, I think it's not going to go on the market. It's a nicer building, all that kind of stuff. So give me some advice. Are you looking for nicer buildings? Are you looking for buildings that aren't as nice and you fix them up? What's the strategy here?
We are mostly in office parks and condos.
Okay.
So office condos, and have to remodel every one of them. But we have this contracting firm that we're working with, and they know, we're using all the same materials. We're just rinse and repeating
Nice.
the remodel.
Like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A.
A little
right?
bit.
Yeah.
And we've done 3 in the last year, and I have one in Scottsdale, but it's too small, so we might buy a different one, and we're looking at that now. So the location game is an interesting one. You have to be able. Another thing that I have done is a lot of data analysis on which counties have the most money and the fewest lawyers.
Okay.
Because that's a real thing here in Arizona.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing where you're
It's
at.
in Missouri. Yeah. I think it's probably a problem in every state.
It's probably a problem everywhere. And that's an opportunity, especially post-COVID when most things are done online. So we're expanding geographically based on that data. And part of the analysis has to be, do we get a building or not? Do we get a physical location or not?
How do you make that decision?
How many clients are we getting from that area, and do I have lawyers who live there? If I don't have lawyers who live there, it doesn't really make sense to get. Like, for instance, Yuma we have a lot of work in Yuma. We don't have a lawyer in Yuma. I haven't found a lawyer in Yuma. We have a lot of calls from Yuma. We have a Google My Business and a virtual space. So I think I've proven Yuma as a concept, and if the right, factors came together, I would buy a building there.
Okay, so here's an interesting problem. How far is Yuma from the biggest city center? Like, what's the biggest city it's closest to?
It's right. It's between here and San Diego. So I think it's
Okay.
3 hours.
Okay, so
from
it's a
here
ways
and
away.
3 hours to San Diego, and maybe 2 hours from Tucson.
Okay, so here's what's interesting about that. And I'm glad that it's where it is, because Missouri has got a problem. No, it's not a problem, but where you'll see the areas around the city centers, so that's Kansas City, that's Columbia, that's St. Louis, and that's Springfield. Those areas, those counties around there, they want to hire the big city lawyer. Okay, and even in Columbia, want to hire the St. Louis lawyer, right? So that's an issue. So for marketing, we want to make sure we're marketing the right way to attract those people. But if you go up north, there's no major cities in northern Missouri at all. And so they're hiring the local lawyers. So I wonder if you've done any research on how far out you have to go to have to be able to put an office before they'll start to hire you.
Well, I think it's a cheap, and I think you should set up as many locations on Google My Business
Right.
using co-working spaces as you possibly can.
Are you worried at all with the Google juice being stolen because you got multiple law firms in one office? It used to be a problem. I don't know if it's an issue anymore.
I don't want to be in a co-working space with another family law attorney.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that hasn't been a problem so far because most people are not doing this. Most people are not expanding everywhere they possibly can.
Right.
And setting up as many Google My Business as they possibly can. But each one of those is free clients. Every month, Google is going to send you clients
Right.
based on your Google My Business. So you should probably have as many as you possibly can.
Sure.
And then you have to manage that and you have to manage reviews. But once you're getting a certain number of clients, they'll tell you whether or not they're willing to hire you, so they're going to call you. Let's say I've got a Google My Business up in Flagstaff, which is, Coconino County and 2 hours north. And they have lawyers up there. So are they willing to hire lawyers that don't live there? The only way to find out is take the consultation, see if they want to pay for it, and see if they want to hire.
Well, the thing about Yuma, it's if you compare it to like the Missouri, we'll call it the Missouri problem. You got Yuma's not. You said you don't need anybody in Yuma. Is that right?
I think I do.
You think you do need someone
before I buy a building?
Yeah. Well, are you getting clients from Yuma?
Yes.
Okay. I wonder why they're so far away from any city center. It makes me wonder why they're calling you all.
They don't have lawyers there. There's no lawyers.
Is there a database to track?
Yes.
How do you know? I mean, how?
You want to do this research? Yeah.
I do. I definitely do.
Yeah,
Yes.
So the ABA put out a legal desert report. I think 2021, maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah, the data's not going to be that old. It gives you lawyer per county.
Okay.
And then you can do the cross research and figure out population and income per
And with
zip
AI,
code.
I can do this a lot easier too with the research. Yeah.
Exactly. And you can figure out who's not served.
And then you can serve a series of like tailored Google ads.
Right. Right.
Specifically, I mean, you could do some Facebook stuff too, but I'm not having as much luck with Facebook as some people are. But that's an interesting idea.